Here I'll be going over Vancouver's best game since their expansion in 2011, in my opinion. So this game 3-0 versus LAFC, on the brink of elimination, game two. Whitecaps first against the first place team in their conference pick up a 3-0 win, which against a team that has the likes of Hugo Lloris, some of the best MLS talent in the past couple of years, and guys like Marco Reus who can come off the bench, who have literally played in the Champions League final in Europe. It's a really good game to have, not just have one, but one in decisive style at 3-0 is honestly a pretty big thing to do, and we'll be looking at how they did it and what exactly went right for Vancouver here. And I don't think it's an exact player performance, exactly how their stars showed up, and Vanni Sartini's masterclass in this game. Looking at the lineup here, this is the best lineup Vancouver could have brought out or fielded onto the pitch. Uh, they weren't really able to do it throughout the season because Brian White had his injuries. Pico has a couple of suspensions. Ryan Gold had his injuries. Players like Ahmed, Kubas, and Armstrong. Ahmed had a couple of injuries. Kubas had a couple of suspensions, and then they didn't have Armstrong available to throughout half of the season. The back line of Adakubi, Tristan Blackman, Veselinovic, and Berhalter worked out really well. Sartini worked. Berhalter is actually a midfielder. He would play where in the spot of where Armstrong is, but Armstrong was a new addition, so he decided to put Berhalter into the back line, which worked really well. As Berhalter had those really deadly through balls from that right back position, so and those really he has that stamina to be constantly making these kinds of overlaps. So that worked out really well for Vanny. So I think putting Berhalter in the back there was a pretty good decision. He isn't the best defensively, but putting one of the best defenders Whitecaps have ever seen, Veselinovic, on his same side was pretty good. Blackman was really good in the back there, and so was Adekubi as usual. Now, looking at the goals here, the goals weren't very flashy, world class kind of goals. They were just like really, off of high pressing counterattacks and looking at like set pieces. So they weren't very flashy here. So looking at this one, you'll see Ahmed press high here with Brian White. Ahmed wins the ball, finds the thread the needle pass to Gold, who threads the needle again to Brian White, and then Brian crosses that into Armstrong, and then Armstrong's shot bounces right to Ryan Gold, like 10 yards out in front of the net, and Ryan Gold's never missing that. So, it's not a really like world class flashy goal, like a highlight reel type thing. It's just you win the ball in the teammates 25 attacking the other team's attacking third, and when you have guys like Ryan Gold, Pico, Brian White, you're gonna finish that every single time. Here, Vancouver's second goal comes off of a set piece. So you'll see here, second shot. LAFC kind of initially clears it. Ryan Gold's gonna find back Sebastian Berhalter. Here you'll see three LAFC players step out to Berhalter and Gold, but nobody really picks up Gold or Berhalter. And then if you're not picking up Ryan Gold, the best, like probably the best player in the MLS right now, that's gonna be a problem for you. And that's exactly what happened and why Whitecaps scored here. And Berhalter slips in Ryan Gold, and Gold plays such a smart ball just in front of the LAFC back line. And that is a nightmare ball to defend if you're a defender or a center back, because it's right in front of your own net. And even if you touch it, and Hollingshead just becomes a little unlucky, he tries clearing it, but then it's exactly what Gold was intending for him to try to clear it. And even if you touch that as if you're a defender, it's going to end up in your own net every single time because you're running backwards and you're just trying to clear it, but you're kind of looking at the net, which is kind of 90% of your view, and that's where you're going to kick it into your own net. And that's exactly what Hollingshead did here. And you got to feel for him. It's pretty unlucky, but it's a really, really smart ball here from Gold. Just wanted to add, Takaoka's clean sheet was a pretty huge part in Vancouver's win here today. So looking at LAFC did not score a goal only in one game this season, which was July 9th against Houston in 0-0 draw. So which was about 11 games prior, and was one game in their regular season. So shutting out LA in any game is honestly a huge part. And these two goals, if LAFC did score, would have just completely changed the trajectory of the game, as it would have turned the momentum in their favor.
Smile of like, yeah, I knew that was coming. I had that. Gold. Gold gets to the byline, gets the cross in. It's deflected in. Wide with the touch. And that should just about seal it for Vancouver. 3-0 up on the night. We're heading back to LA.
Have delivered in this match. LAFC just get caught sleeping on a throw-in. They're going to watch this goal back, and they're going to be so frustrated with the defending on this goal because Ryan Gold just drifted to the 18. It might actually go down as an own goal, but it's the running of the near post from Brian White to put himself into a position to where he can impact this cross.
And this goal is just nothing but, Vancouver Stars going to wear gold and white combining in a 2v6 versus LA defenders. Uh, it eventually went down as an own goal, but as, white or gold didn't really even score. It was just a pinball. Brian White didn't even touch it in the end there. So it was just a pinball chaos LAFC for LAFC to end up conceding. And as you said, very frustrating. And looking at all the goals here, it's just set pieces and counterattacks, which was Vanni Sartini's like really smart, which is what I would say, because that was really what his tactics here was, to not normally play the way Vancouver would play, where it's to keep the ball and really break down the other team, where they know LAFC is better than them, so they're not gonna be able to break them down. So just playing that kind of long ball, looking for the counter attack, looking for the set pieces to be clinical off them, which was really what they did. So playing against a good team, you'll need to put away as many chances as you'll get. As you'll get maximum 2 to 3 scoring chances and that's if you're lucky and if you're playing good as well. And that's exactly what Vancouver did. The only real missed chance I saw was from a Pico missed chance where he cuts in finesse shot, and that was really it. So honestly, one of the best games I've ever seen Vancouver play. So since their expansion in 2011. So yeah, it was a great game to play in, or for to watch, and must have been a great game to play in if you were a player for Vancouver.